Hey everybody, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a look at a big box of Masters of the Universe figures.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Alright, so as I said, I have a large box of Masters of the Universe figures to go through. And these aren't just any Masters of the Universe figures. These are the 2002 2000X Masters of the Universe figures, the Mike Young Productions one. And I gotta say, when that show came out, He-Man was, to me, kind of a dead brand. It was a brand that I liked very much as a kid when I was very young. When the 2002 show came out, I was almost done with high school. And I liked the show. It's actually my favorite iteration of He-Man, if I'm being honest. But I never bought any of the figures. I don't buy a lot of Masters of the Universe stuff, but I never bought any of that stuff because at the time I kind of saw it as, they all had the action features and stuff, and that was when like Marvel Legends were starting to come out. So I was like, give me these articulated things. I don't need action features in my figures. That's kind of how I viewed it. Although those figures in retrospect have some amazing sculpts to them, some really cool figures in that line. And what happened was a neighbor of mine sent me a Facebook listing on Facebook Marketplace, and he was like, you might like this. And it was a whole bunch of the 2002 Masters of the Universe figures. But there's literally a bunch. I'm going to go through all of them here. And, I offered the guy a price. He said, sure. I went over, I picked it up, and now I have a box of MOTU 2002 figures. These are, some of them, I don't think they're all complete. I don't think any are complete, if I'm being honest. Some are a little messed up. I think I can kind of piece some together. If nothing else, if I don't end up displaying them, this is something that my child can one day play with and have some fun with. That's kind of how I'm viewing it. But I didn't know what everything was in this, so I have a great resource here. Pixel Dan put out this wonderful, wonderful book. It is The Toys of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And first off, you can see it is big, it is thick, but it has every He-Man figure through the MOTU Classics line. Even the 2016 Masters of the Universe figures are in here. So yeah, like these are pretty cool. This is a great resource, so I'm just keeping it here to kind of refer to if I don't know who something is. But we'll start out with some stuff that I do know what they are, and I don't think he has his weapon, but the first figure in this is Whiplash. And really just a neat figure, cool sculpt. Love the Whiplash design for that Mike Young Productions Whiplash. I'm just going to lower my camera just a little bit so that I don't have to hold everything up so high. But great looking figure. He has his tail. He does some whippy action, so that's kind of neat. Even with an action feature, this is actually still a really nice looking figure. So Whiplash was the first character that I got. Pretty cool. Another one that I got, this is an old favorite, is Manny Faces. And, just again, like a neat one. These were kind of like pre-posed. Like you see, they don't have knee articulation. They don't have like elbow articulation, but, their shoulders move decently. He does have waist articulation, but he just kind of spins back to where he was. Legs kick out and stuff. So not the most articulated things, but the sculpts are indeed very cool. And Manny Faces does have his change face gimmick. So there he is as a robot, and there he is as the monster before returning him to his regular Manny Faces look. So this is a neat one. I had the original Manny Faces as a kid. I'm sorry, they do have hand articulation as well. But I had the original Manny Faces as a kid, and this reminds me of that. This is very cool. There was a variant on this one, a paint variant. I don't believe this is it. I think that's the regular one. Moving right along, we do have a regular Mechaneck, who did have the action feature of turning his waist and his neck goes up, so that's pretty neat. I never had a Mechaneck growing up. I never had an original Mechaneck. So this is a neat one, and it's a cool design for a character who maybe doesn't do the most, but it is still pretty neat. So looks cool. It looks like light piping here. There's like a hole missing in his head, so light can come through, so these goggles light up. I don't know if that's intentional or if I'm missing a piece, but he does look cool, and like I said, I like him. So there we go. Moving along, I have to look this one up, but I do have this neat looking Skeletor, and I believe that I saw him in this picture. It's Fire Armor Skeletor. He does seem to have part of his staff here. I can't tell if it's been broken or chopped or if it's supposed to look like that. So he does have part of the staff that he can hold on to, his Flame Edition Havoc staff, I suppose. I believe it is supposed to be longer. And there is this piece as well, which again, I don't know, not 100%, familiar with all of these figures. So I don't know if this clips on or if this is just like another flame sword that he can hold. But there we go. Pretty decent little Skeletor, kind of neat with the armor. I know for this line, they kind of went like armor variant crazy, and there's all kinds of crazy armors and stuff, variants for some of these characters. We get some really weird ones. There's a ton of He-Men in this box, and for the life of me, I don't know who they all are. So I'm going to be kind of going through a little bit with these and trying to figure out who everybody is. But Skeletor's kind of neat. Of course, always liked Skeletor, just a cool design. And even with fire armor, looks kind of cool. Looking at this, I do believe he is complete armor-wise. I don't think there's any armor missing, so that's kind of neat. All right, that's 4 figures so far. We're going to keep on going to a design that I truly loved in the 2002 series. Hang on, it's stuck. And that would be Stratos. I think this back piece might be busted or something, but could always just, it kind of fits back on. It probably just pop some glue on it. But this was a cool design for like just a flying dude. The wings look really neat. They arms go up. I feel like maybe he has some kind of gimmick to him because these arms are really floppy. So I feel like maybe part of the gimmick had to do with this backpack that is a little busted. But yeah, I don't know if that was like, maybe the missile launches. Oh yeah, missile definitely launches. Okay, yeah, there is like a missile launcher here. That piece moves. So I don't know if there's something else with the arms or if they are just kind of loose, but still looks cool. Stratos is he's a neat character. I honestly, the original design of Stratos I kind of thought was a little boring. It was just like a guy with wings on. This kind of gave him like a cool tech aspect and gave him like nice big wings. So this looks cool, and yeah, it'd just be neat to have on a shelf or something if I so wanted it. The new Eternia Stratos looks fantastic. I will say that. All right, now here's one. This one was a pleasant surprise for me because on the original listing on Facebook, this guy, the seller, didn't have this figure listed, and that would be Man-at-Arms. I always loved this Man-at-Arms design. I like the big shoulder pad here. The back of the armor, I think, just fell off. I think it's in the box, but he had a gimmick where you press his arm and he kind of smashes mace down, which is neat. So yeah, I was happy to unexpectedly find him when I went to pick up the figures at the seller's place. This figure was actually sitting on top, and I had to stop my eyes from like lighting up a little bit because I was like, ooh, he wasn't in the picture. So this was a pleasant surprise. I'll probably find his armor piece and snap it on just so this front piece doesn't keep falling down. But I always liked this Man-at-Arms design. I thought it was a very cool design for Man-at-Arms. All right, let's get into one of the He-Man figures. This is a He-Man, I think looking from like the nunchucks, that is like ninja armor or samurai armor. I'm gonna try to see if I can't find it real quick in the Pixel Dan book. Martial Arts He-Man. That's what this one is. Martial Arts He-Man. It looks like he did come with some other weapons. He does have this spiked nunchuck looking thing. But I don't think this one had any kind of extra accessories to him. I think he just kind of has, or any action feature rather. I think he's just kind of this, the thing about He-Man, and I don't want to sound mean saying this, but I always felt like He-Man was kind of the least interesting character in He-Man. Like his design is just strong guy in, armor, loincloth, and like that's it. Not that he's a bad character. I think he's a fine character, but the designs always were kind of just like, to me. I think his supporting cast and the bad guys definitely have a more interesting look to them. But whatever. This is a fine enough He-Man. I guess like I said, they kind of went very crazy on this toy line. So martial arts He-Man, everybody. And this He-Man, I think is like ice armor He-Man or something. Looking back at let's see, yes, this is indeed ice armor He-Man. He does have some other ice type weapons that this one doesn't have on him. Or he does have this nice big like ice scimitar thing. This looks pretty cool. This is like He-Man, in the north or down south, whatever. But it does look cool. I could have done without the giant ice crystals on the armor, like just the fur and the fur boots looks really neat. But kind of a neat design for He-Man, if I'm being honest. And again, kind of has that elasticity in the waist, so he can easily, of course, now it's stuck. Oh, there we go. There is a button on him. I apologize. That makes him flip, so you can kind of keep him and then press the button right here by my finger, and whoo, there we go. Cool. Makes him twist. So there we go. Ice Armor He-Man. Kind of one of the weird He-Man variants in here. There is someone who I don't have to look up. There is indeed just a regular old Skeletor in here, and had the action feature that you press the arm forward, you press the button on his back here, and it kind of propels the arm forward. He has a Havoc staff. Doesn't have his swords, which is kind of a bummer, and the arm tends to twist really far back. Is there a way I can snap that forward a little bit? There we go, just to keep it forward. And yeah, he can hold the Havoc staff. You know, this was a cool Skeletor design. I always thought this Skeletor looked really, really neat. And yeah, I'm happy to have this one, just, you know, basic Skeletor for a shelf, a collection, whatever. Neat design. I have a friend who is a Skeletor aficionado, and in his office he has a bunch of Skeletors lined up. All right, now this He-Man, this one has his sword. He also has his shield, and I gotta be honest, I'm not entirely sure which He-Man this is, so I'm gonna check the book again. I believe this is called Smashblade He-Man, and there is like a spinning accessory that comes with him that I think I saw in the box, so he might actually be complete. Looks pretty neat, just like kind of a basic He-Man with blues instead of, you know, his normal colors on here, but, you know, has the shield, which I think looks great. I always loved the design of the 2002 era sword. I like that it has this piece that can turn, because it did turn in the show, so that is a really cool design, or you can just kind of keep it flat. So this He-Man looks really cool, holding, of course, his sword and shield. He does indeed have the power, but if you want to stow the sword, it's got a clip back here, a little loop. You just slide the sword in, and there we go. So there we go. All right, moving right along to, oh, well, here we go. We have an Orko here, and the Orko comes with this giant thing that I think shoots this ball out. There's a little button here, and if you press it, the ball kind of flies out. So I guess it's like energy magic using, but it's Orko. It looks cool. I think this is a needless kind of accessory, but otherwise the Orko looks neat. I like the eyes on him. That looks kind of neat. But yeah, cool design for Orko too. It's not just like silly thing in a hat. It's like definitely more like a wizardy feel to it. But looks neat. So cool. I got what I believe is a complete Orko. Unfortunately, something in here that kind of made me sad, and I didn't know it until I got home. There's a Beastman, but he broke in half. I don't know how easily I could repair this, because it looks like something cracked in the waist here. So I don't know if I could just like glue that on. I mean, it kind of does sit, so maybe I could just kind of crazy glue it together and have this era Beastman. I liked how this Beastman was more of a bestial looking character, not just silly kind of ogre dude. He does have an action feature. There's a button on his back that doesn't seem to want to be pressed, so I don't want to force it and break him even more. But he has his whip. I don't know if this makes him complete, but cool looking Beastman. I dig it. I like I said, I really like the design. I like the bones on the armor. That looks cool, and yeah, it kind of does stay together nicely. So maybe I'll try to glue it, see if I can't have a Beastman standing up. He'll lose waist articulation, but that's okay. Another broken thing in here, and this was a bummer to me, was Triclops. Now his head is in there. He actually broke when I got him home. Oh, he does have this arm gimmick, as you see. I believe his sword is in the box too, but yeah, I got home with him and I picked him up, and then his head fell off or fell apart. So kind of a bummer, but you know, I can maybe glue that in place. Apparently that's a common break, according to a friend of mine. So yeah, still a cool design. I really thought the Trapjaw design, or Triclops design, was very cool in this show. Really cool find in here. I didn't see his armor, but there is a Too Bad. And Too Bad I thought was a great design in the show. There's a really cool variant of this where the colors are flipped. They're like reversed, which I thought were really cool. So yeah, I really like this Too Bad. He has like spring-loaded kind of joints, which now I don't know how to make them work now, but kind of a neat design. I really like this one. Too Bad was always a cool Masters of the Universe character, and I have the Masterverse one, which looks fantastic, the new Eternia one. So this is cool. Part of me kind of wants to get this Too Bad as well as the variant, so I can have both versions standing somewhere, because I thought the variant always looked really cool too, with the inverted colors. All right, there we go. All right, now this wasn't just a box of figures, which I think kind of added to the price. We also had some vehicles in here. So the first vehicle is this thing, which, if I'm being honest, I don't know the name of, so I'm going to look it up real quick. This, I believe, is the Battle Hawk, and I think it is missing some components. There's a gun here, but not one here. It looks neat. You know, it looks like a cool flying vehicle, and vehicles are neat. So, like I said, you know, at the price this guy was offering, or you know, let me buy this stuff with, I think I got some cool vibes. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll display something like this. It is kind of big and unwieldy to a degree, but you can kind of just tuck the legs up and seat it down. So that's neat. Once again, that was the Battle Hawk. I also got a Samurai Battle Cat. So not just a regular Battle Cat, but a Samurai one. I believe there are some other parts here, but he does the, he can like lift his leg and his mouth opens. Cool to get a Battle Cat, and if, you know, I guess if I wanted just a basic Cringer or something, I could easily peel all this off. And I think, did that just break? Yeah, I think the glue on this finally gave out. So I could just re-glue it on for the strap and then put it on Battle Cat if I wanted to, which I kind of do, because I don't want to just have, oh, there we go. There's a button that makes all this happen right here. But I don't want to have just a, like a Cringer. I'd rather have it like Battle Cat. So probably try to fix that up and get that. Oh, I see. There's a peg at the bottom that it all connects to kind of keep the armor on. That's cool. I didn't know that that's how that worked. But this is, oh, I see. And there's a button here, right there, that makes all this work. But this is like one of these crazy designs. You know, in a toy line like this, of course, you're going to end up with some crazy designs. I believe there are some other parts for that as well in this bin. I think this is a piece of the Samurai Battle Cat armor, whatever you want to call it. It's like a giant lance. That's pretty cool. The last vehicle in here is the Pterodactyl, which I know is like one of a Skeletor type vehicle, which again looks pretty cool. I think these legs are glued in place. One moves, but the other seems like it's going to break if I try to move it. So kind of neat though. You know, looks cool. There's a mouth here that opens. I believe there's a button that you can press and all this stuff will move. I had trouble kind of putting it back together before, so I'm just going to kind of leave it be. But looks neat, has a cool console. You could have somebody sitting on it. Continuing on, this was something I was very excited for. There is a Merman in here, but it's the variant Merman. So there were two colorways for Merman. This is the variant one. It's like a darker color with some deeper reds on it. So I was excited for that. This is a pretty neat looking figure, and he does this whole like Triton kind of toss gimmick, which is neat. He actually had elbow articulation too, which not a lot of these figures had. So Merman, very cool, very happy to have him. Moving on, there aren't that many more left in here. There is a Ram Man, so that's cool. This was a cool Ram Man design too. I gotta be honest here. Just a very cool Ram Man design, and still works. Like you can still kind of push him in, and then not entirely sure how to make his legs pop out, but they do pop out. I'll figure that out later. Oh, there we go. So cool that I got Ram Man. I loved the look for him in the show, because it did harken back to that original look while also being something different, I felt. We have 3 more He-Man in here. I do know that this is just like a regular straight up He-Man. We do have the Snake Catcher armor He-Man. This was the Snake armor He-Man from like the 3rd season. And last but not least, I have this He-Man, which, we're dragging out other characters' pieces right now. But I think this is just another one of that Battle Blades He-Man. Yeah, because this looks exactly the same. So, or Shield Bash, whatever this was. So I think this is the same He-Man. So it's cool. I guess I got a backup of that He-Man. But there are some other accessories in here. I know this is a piece for the Snake Armor He-Man. This appears to be most of Triclops' sword, but it seems to be missing the handle. It looks like I got Merman's sword in here. Here's Triclops' head, the top of his head. looking around, let's see what else is in here. Oh, here we go. So yeah, these are indeed the other pieces for that He-Man. So I do have his other weapons, as well as the shield for that other shield blasting, whatever it was, He-Man. This appears to be Mechanex's armor or weapon. Not entirely sure what this is. I'll have to do some research on that one. And then, the thing that is kind of driving me crazy is that I have 2 of the pieces for Trapjaw's armor, or like hand extensions, and that kind of bums me out because I really love that Trapjaw design. It would have been really cool to have that Trapjaw, so maybe I'll try to track one down at an upcoming toy show or something just to stick with this stuff because the completist nature in my brain wants one. Then there's an axe, not entirely sure who this is, and this is, I believe, the rest of Man-at-Arms armor, so I think I buried him under a figure. There he is. Let me try to snap this on. There we go. So now Duncan's armor is staying on. So yeah, that was everything in the box. Overall, there are full figures. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 figures and 3 vehicles. So I paid about $30 for this. The guy originally wanted 50. I was like, how about 30? He said yes. So that's, in my opinion, a pretty good deal. And yeah, there we go. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these, if I'm going to display them or just kind of hold on to them for my son to play with one day or something. But they're here, they're fun, and I'll have a good time with it. So let me know what you think. Are you a 2000X Masters of the Universe fan? Like I said, that cartoon is my favorite iteration of He-Man. And, you know, nothing against the original, but I just thought they did so much more with that new cartoon at the time, and I thought it was great. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think I got a deal? Do you think I got a bunch of crap? Tell me. Let me know what you think. Until next time, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.